This day 810 Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today we are going to be doing Siman Tuf Kuf Tes, Sif Beis through Sif Ches. I say if you like sponsor I come share more of the Arukh, please come be directly. Really appreciate it. Not just said it. Beis obviously make a din Kenu. Even though, according to the Ikar Adin, if there was no time to do it Erev Yontif, you're allowed to do it at Yontif. Come Amor Kila Rabbi. We don't tell the masses that they can do that. Okay, so they're talking Ganke the Mishmar B'Erev Yontif, so they shouldn't come to fix something which broke from before Yontif. Chazal called this halacha where we don't actually teach this out publicly. Mishabura says, even to his Talmidim. They only brought that on sharpening. They were only on sharpening knives. Because sharpening knives looks more like a weekly activity. Not other halachos. So Rabbeinu Rama b'Sifal because of Gam al Shpud. He wrote this also on a skewer. And all other machshirim sheken who does ha'ezer b'oska because some of the books go that way. When near midivreim, seems that what they from their words, the rabbim a morin that to the masses you can't teach this. But to an individual, Morara can pass it this way. Okay, if not, happy the not sure to say you can't be Mora halach to anybody. If I'll be Shlosha Ragamar who Vein Morikin, the language Mora is a Morin, which sounds like not whether Rabbi or Yachid, Mashalu the Rak the Rabbi main Morin. It seems to indicate that only to the masses you can't teach this. Rabbi says it's not just the Rabbi. To the Yachid a Morin came, a Morin nine shop. Don't tell Yachid this either. The halachos of Machshir Ochel Nefesh were not clear what exactly is going on. The Rambam Oisem Chodim, if I begin to agree with Sunnah, the Rambam asks all Machshir Ochel Nefesh except for sweeping out the oven. Chem Bavur Barif. We say the same thing. Bayan Risham Simcha Veidim Mishum Neim Morin Came Pasam Kul Isser. Baskins to answer all of them because of this clear principle of Ein Morin Came. Except for that which is directly related to Ochel Nefesh, or like sweeping out the oven. Bialacha writes that the opinion of the Beis Yosef is the Rambam Pauskins like Rabbanon of Rabbi Yehuda, and the Gra holds that the Rambam Pauskins like Rabbi Yehuda, and a skewer which became broken. You're now allowed to fix it. It's all about where it became very crooked, and then it's really tikkun kli, because evidently it went into the area where it can't be used. Therefore, it's much for fixing if you use it. Obviously, the davar borrower is lacking still. Even though Allah revealed that you could do Machshir Ochel Nefesh, lo samcha lo dagam. They didn't rely on them completely. Things which are primary preparations of Ochel Nefesh, such as sweeping out the oven, halacha morikei, you can tell people, heich the body is where it's definitely going to burn. The things that are not primary machshir ochel nefesh, and tzrichim, they're necessary. Kibush lo yisashin abayis, such as extinguishing a fire, the house will be full of smoke, or kibush lekos abayis, or extinguishing the fire in the house, or kibush or extinguishing a candle, being tashmish, because of relations. Also the gamrei. Yeah, it's forbidden. Paying the horse, paying the those by him. You can't do it. You can't pass in that way. I should say you can't pass the way, and you can't even do it. Okay. But you don't need them. Go sakin sha'omda like a knife that became blunt. it's possible to borrow one. Shem Mitzvah Lakol, because everybody has a knife, so you shouldn't have to do anything. Mutar de Shinui. Still, it'll be mutar to do with a Shinui. That'll be okay. But El Shemorin came in the Shum Nishriche. But we don't to tell people that because it's a prevalent problem. Because the Rosh gave this first Rashba, Pasmag, he was Asa Ramam, Anachlim Be'am Sham, Shiv Siv Chafei Asa Ramam, Ayin Sham. So this is obviously the Halacha Me'Morin seems to be very severe. Dal Avatur B'Halacha B'Shitas Avi B'Rosh Halacha Kreb Yehuda Morike. So it says we do pass away. The Vamishnei Dvarim Me'Morin Kreb Yehuda. Except for two things, they don't pass Kreb Yehuda. B'Chid Sakin, sharpening a knife, or B'Kibi Aneli and Tashmish, and extinguishing a candle terms for Tashmish. L'chein Kosav Kan B'Shpud. That's I wrote here by a skewer. If it broke, it's close. If it's not suitable to roast, mutzah taken, you can fix it. And if a knife became dented, because mutzah chayla, they're allowed to sharpen it. Either with a wooden sharpener or with a wooden knife sharpener. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Or by drawing one knife on top of another knife. Morin came we pass this way. But a stone sharpener, even though theoretically it should be mutter to use it in order to sharpen the knife. We don't pass away explicitly. If it's just removed the fat, grease, alpha Morello, we can also pass away with a stone, with a stone with a stone sharpener. But it was similar to bakas in terms of putting out a coal. Said if it's type of coal which if you don't put out, the pot will become smoky. You're allowed to extinguish it. Tashmish only for marital relations is forbidden to extinguish a candle. Tama pasha. As Risa said, with the Bechida Sakin and Gemara Morinkin. The terms of sharpening knife, already says a Morinkin. Tashish, and by Tashmish, by marital relations, Tama the Zembike Kevsha Sosim Erbiota. You could never point out that Loya Lola Amid Ner Makom should soil Latashi shouldn't put a candle in a place where he wanted to have relations. Well, furthermore, he could have take the candle out to another house. Even though the Gemara asked this question when he doesn't have another house, and the prohibition of extinguishing is according to Rabbanan, Lo Rabbi Yehuda, Sham, not according to Rabbi Yehuda. Come that's when they came to the Sakin, Shunyone Achila Mudei Morin by a knife which has to do with matters of food. They paskin not that we shouldn't. They said don't tell the masses. Koshke Tashmish Enu Achila, certainly Tashmish, which is not a matter of food eating. They paskin came. Don't paskin lechein pasak leisar. That's why paskins it is forbidden. Hey, v'nei Rabbeinu Beis Yosef, B'Elam Shitas Aram Pasam Kulam Leisar. The Beis Yosef paskins like the Rambam and paskins that they're all also. Lechein Kosab Sif Zeh, Simon Zeh Sif Av Shput Shinirtzav Avo B'Shiyachol Pashto B'Yodo Ein Masakni Uso. If you have the skewer which became skewed, even though you can extend it back with your hand, Ein Masakni, so you can't fix it. Akon Shono. Harish Pasad Gamri Lisser. So he paskins totally Lisser. If you have a spoon, a skewer which you want to roast, it's too long for some reason, you're not allowed to cut it, or to burn it. I always assumed that the skewer is made out of metal, but clearly that's not necessarily the case, because there's a wooden skewer, obviously, because you can easily cut it or burn it. Even though you're allowed to burn a wick in two, later on, that's just because it looks like you're lighting two candles. But it's just because you're fixing a keli. The ancient cause of those, there is one who wrote. It must be talking about a case where you could have done it yesterday. If you weren't able to do it yesterday, it's permitted. Arukh HaShulchan disagrees with that. Magen Avram. She says Rambam Kol Machshir also much down because according to Rambam or Machshir also. Okay, so even you couldn't have done it yesterday, even you could not have done it yesterday, still also. Shatzion says I don't know if this is how this is different. He says it's also because you're making it into a keli. Vav okos have you can't sharpen a knife with its sharpener. The Mishnah says even if its sharpness has become ruined on yontif, because it's tikkun keli. You can sharpen it on wood or cheres or pottery or even or stone. Sharatzino says, yeah, but it still can only be if it's nifkama on yontif, and not if it's damage on erev yontif. And the Bach also say evidently smachmir by sharpening one knife or another. That's only if it's nifkam on yontif. Okay, be that as it may, let's go back to Arukh HaShulchan. We don't pass him for the masses, that they shouldn't come to use a true sharpener. If you can cut with difficulty, or it's got some nicks, it can't cut all. You couldn't even use a sharpener wood, because you might come to use a true sharpener. End quote. This is from the tour. There's how the Rambam Loka tour. So the Rambam not like the tour. The base matil horos, who says by wood we can tell people do it. Says having mutar ve'morikain. With a stone sharpener, it's mutar we don't pass him the way for the masses. Vagabi sakin achad 8, and another knife the loch is like on wood. Just like we don't tell masses that. So you shouldn't do it in front of the masses. Unless he can get out of it. He says he only has a mind to remove the grease. With a true sharpener, it's a stone sharpener, even to remove the grease, we don't pass him that you can do it. Okay. You're not allowed to extinguish the coal, even though you can't say the pot any other way. And Sham, Gamatashmish also, when you said before, also for marital relations to Sosim. Zakol Fikavishit as Ram. So the Ram. The Rabbeinu Ramat Moim, but the Ramah is astonishing. Shulech Lashitas Satur, he goes in the derech of the Torah. Pasuk Sham Nikiba Bakas, he passes in terms of extinguishing the coal. Can't save the pot any other way. Mutzal chabos, I should be allowed to extinguish. See the Simon Zev, see Alvin and Shmuch, and Yotza Pasakim, any Yochel Itzlos, but Venishbar Biyotza Mula Takno. And in this Simon and Sif Alv, in terms of a shpod, which was skewed, as he said, which is skewed, he was asking that if you can't roast with it and it's broken out, so you're allowed to fix it. And that's like the tour. Even the Rabbi, he says, come back to the masses, but Louis who doesn't mention this, that he followed Rabbi Yerucham. The Rabbi said, Halach made Morin Kane. Also, this Halach Morin Kane means a steer of the Shita Satur. It's not a contradiction. So the Shita of the tour, which is that basically you're allowed to fix it. Just we don't tell people. So not like the Rambam. Why do you say you're allowed to use a wooden sharpener? Completely. With a stone sharpener, it's mutter, but we don't pass away to be a tour. Like the tour says, really, a sharpener, you didn't go in the tour, because on a sharpener, Hagam, it's clear that you're allowed to sharpen the knife. The end of the sugi, it's clear that it is also he forbids you to show the knife to a chacham on yontif, which we have seen in Tov Tzadi Ches. Rambam re'atam the shemi amar lachacham. The Rambam, the reason is because the rabbi might say to him, "Shehut pogum," that it's damaged. The Elach said is going to go and sharpen it. What's time to sharp? Besides, it's permitted. So what? You should be saying, let him sharpen it. We don't we're not paskening him for him. He's going to do it on his own. He's allowed to do it. Came with Allah Rabbi Yehuda. Elevade Rabbi Yehuda also. So once you Rabbi Yehuda, it's also. As far as the Ksaba Ram Yisham, that since the end it says you can't show a Chacham Sakin and on Yotiv, it's clearly that Rabbi Yehuda concedes this point. It's called the Echos of the Sakin. The conclusion of all this is the Ein Heter L'Ros Rak L'Avir Shamnusa Mutar L'Avir Gabi Evan. Ein Heter L'Ros Rak L'Avir Shamnusa L'Avir Gabi Evan. There's no Heter except if you need to remove the crease, then you can even put it on a stone. But look at the but not to sharpen it. Avil Shal Eitz Amor Leheter. Even in a wood sharpener, you can't be more Leheter. But most of the does it on his own initiative. Mutar, we can't. It's a awesome. Shchezes. But if it's a real sharpener, we protest his doing so. For women who pass the knife to sharpen a little bit against the table or against the stove, we don't protest. There's mutter the Rambam El Shei Mori King. He's don't tell the masses. We don't tell them to do it. But they do it on their own. It's okay. We don't have to protest against them. Okay, which is a good thing. I don't think women do that anymore nowadays, but maybe once on a time they did it. And Achshar Dora.